really bad. And with clocks, sometimes they get so stained. A lot of times, you know, the service person isn't going to take the movement out and clean it. They come for, you know, a checkup or a service or some issue that they're fixing. They're going to dump more lubricant on there, collect some money and go back, you know. And that lube is just going to drip off, drip down to the bottom of the clock. A lot of time is wood. It soaks into that wood, and now you're left with this tainted wood that really just needs to be burnt, you know, or just put in a landfill. Sometimes opening up old clocks is just like, oh my, like what died in here? And most of the times the owners, you know, either don't recognize it because they get used to the odor, or they just don't open up the back and actually take a sniff. So a lot of times, you know, they're completely unaware of that. For fuel efficiency, CVT lets you stay at the engine's peak efficiency pretty much all the time. Yeah, if the algorithms are right and if it's well designed, it can keep the engine at that efficiency, but a lot of time getting it up to that, there's going to be drivetrain losses. There's always drivetrain losses, right? Regardless of what you have, the most efficient transmission in the world is going to have drivetrain losses. And to my knowledge, CVT isn't very efficient. There's a lot of friction, a lot of waste. Locophase, you're a Proton user too. Yeah. Send you a signed email from our own Proton inbox. Oh, right on. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Proton. I always recommend it to people. A lot of times they don't bother, you know? They're just like, I've had this email for so long, I'm not going to change it. It's like, okay. You know, it's vulnerable. You know? Like, that's a reality that we're in nowadays. Everything was made of quality materials back in the day. Now everything is made as cheaply as possible for the average consumer. Cost cutting is MOs for corporations. If you're not cost cutting, you're not staying competitive. And unfortunately, you know, the reality we live in is that you always got to be making a profit. And if you're not making a profit, then you're a failure and you get kicked off by the board. But it's just like, how much can you juice something before there's no juice left? And then you're charging your customer for air, you know? So it's like that constant profit. You always need to be doing more profit every year. It's not sustainable. It's just not. But the corporations, you know, even if you have a very level-headed CEO, if that company's public, they're not really in control, are they? It's the investors. The investors require that profit. You're not making profit, you're out. Look at it, felt like the original parts of a vintage is different repair than parts from a recent watch. The original parts of a vintage is different repair than the parts from a recent watch. Yeah, everything ages just a bit differently. Club, is there not a Breitling watch that could send a distress signal via satellite? Yes, there is. Yeah. I think they had 2 models of it.